Hello there, all my people here watching me. And today we're reading Urantia book, paper 178. It's the last day at the camp, and it's Thursday after the noontime meal. So this is Maundy Thursday, right before the Last Supper takes place. Not many of the master's hearers were able to take in even a part of his forenoon address. Of all who heard him, the Greeks comprehended most. Go Greeks! Hey. Even the 11 apostles were bewildered by his allusions to future political kingdoms and to successive generations of kingdom believers. Jesus' most devoted followers could not reconcile the impending end of his earthly ministry with these references to an extended future of gospel activities. Some of these Jewish believers were beginning to sense that Earth's greatest tragedy was about to take place. But they could not reconcile such an impending disaster with either the master's cheerfully indifferent personal attitude or his forenoon discourse, wherein he repeatedly alluded to the future transactions of the heavenly kingdom, extending over vast stretches of time and embracing relations with many and successive temporal kingdoms on earth. So, well, he's still talking like everything's, going to go on like normal. How can something so terrible be happening? How's he going to? But, it's like true and not true at the same time, kind of. So they're really confused. By noon of this day, all the apostles and disciples had learned about the hasty flight of Lazarus from Bethany. They began to sense the grim determination of the Jewish rulers to exterminate Jesus and his teachings. Yeah, so it's kind of like everything's coming to an end, the world's coming to an end. But yeah, everything's okay, but it's all right. So that's what they're feeling like. Yeah. Like everything's cool, but it's coming to an end. Yeah, no. David Zebedee, through the work of his secret agents in Jerusalem, was fully advised concerning the progress of the plan to arrest and kill Jesus. He knew all about the part of Judas in this plot, but he never disclosed this knowledge to the other apostles nor to any of the disciples. Shortly after lunch, he did lead Jesus aside and, making bold, asked him whether he knew. But he never got further with his question. The master, holding up his hand, stopped him, saying, "Yes, David, I know all about it, and I know that you know, but see to it that you tell no man. Only doubt not in your own heart, that the will of God will prevail in the end." This conversation with David was interrupted by the arrival of a messenger from Philadelphia, bringing word that Abner had heard of the plot to kill Jesus and asking if he should depart for Jerusalem. This runner hastened off for Philadelphia with this word for Abner: "Go on with your work. If I depart from you in the flesh, it is only that I may return in the spirit. I will not forsake you. I will be with you to the end." About this time, Philip came to the master and asked, "Master, seeing that the time of the Passover draws near, where would you have us prepare to eat it?" And when Jesus heard Philip's question, he answered, "Go and bring Peter and John, and I will give you directions concerning the supper we will eat together this night. As for the Passover, that you will have to consider after we have first done this." Done what? Okay, when Judas heard the master speaking with Philip about these matters, he drew closer that he might overhear their conversation. But David Zebedee, who was standing near, stepped up and engaged Judas in conversation, while Philip, Peter, and John went to one side to talk with the master. Said Jesus to the three, "Go immediately into Jerusalem, and as you enter the gate, you will meet a man bearing a water pitcher. He will speak to you, and then shall you follow him. When he leads you to a certain house, go in after him and ask of the good man of that house, where is the guest chamber wherein the master is to eat supper with his apostles? Okay, so that's how they pick where they're going to have the Last Supper. Okay. Okay, Peter, John, and Philip, go find a guy with a water pitcher, and yeah, okay. And when you have thus inquired, this householder will show you a large upper room, all furnished and ready for us. Okay. When the apostles reached the city, they met the man with the water pitcher near the gate and followed on after him to the home of John Mark. Oh, it was John Mark, where the lad's father met them and showed them the upper room in readiness for the evening meal. And all of this came to pass as the result of an understanding arrived at between the master and John Mark during the afternoon of the preceding day when they were alone in the hills. Jesus wanted to be sure he would have this one last meal undisturbed with his apostles, and believing if Judas knew beforehand of their place of meeting, he might arrange with his enemies to take him. He made his secret arrangement with John Mark. Okay, in this way, Judas did not learn of their place of meeting until later on when he arrived there in company with Jesus and the other apostles. Oh, so he didn't want Judas, because he knew Judas was up to no good, right? So he didn't want Judas to tip them off. He was going to go somewhere else other than where Judas. So Judas didn't know where they were going. It's very clever. So he's got one more peaceful meal. That's what he really wanted. One more nice, peaceful meal with all of his friends' family. David Zebedee had much business to transact with Judas, so that he was easily prevented from following Peter, John, and Philip, as he so much desired to do. So David Zebedee distracted Judas. Yeah, okay, Judas, I got to talk to you about some things. Yeah, those guys have to go do their things, but I have got some business here we got to discuss here. Yep. When Judas gave David a certain sum of money for provisions, David said to him, Judas, might it not be well under the circumstances to provide me with a little money in advance of my actual needs? And after Judas had reflected for a moment, he answered, Yes, David, I think it would be wise. In fact, in view of the disturbed conditions in Jerusalem, I think it would be best for me to turn over all the money to you. They plot against the master, and in case anything should happen to me, you would not be hampered. And so David received all the apostolic cash funds and receipts for all money on deposit. Not until the evening of the next day did the apostles learn of this transaction. Okay, so Judas doesn't know that David knows about this, but he's just trying to look. He doesn't want to tell them that he's against them yet. I think he just doesn't know. He's just trying to go along. Yeah. It was about 4:30 when the three apostles returned and informed Jesus that everything was in readiness for the supper. The master immediately prepared to lead his 12 apostles over the trail to the Bethany road and on into Jerusalem. And this was the last journey he ever made with all 12 of them. So they're going on the way to the home of John Mark to have the Last Supper. Okay. All right. Yep. Thank you very much. All right. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.